What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Petetorious interviews, or what I will call that for now. Um, Little thing to plug myself: I have a gig in Puyallup, Washington, at Top Gun Bar and Grill. I will be bartering for chicken tenders and telling good dick jokes. So please come out; it'll be very fun. Actually, the host is Allison Fine. Features Reese Green, who won the Funniest Motherfucker contest that's currently going on at Nate Jackson's Comedy Club. And the headliner is a guy named Chase Myers, who I heard nothing but you have to see this guy. Doesn't matter. He's amazing. So I'm on there too. So extra reason for you to go. Today, I've already interviewed two friends. This guy is no exception. He's a really interesting dude. I've actually, I knew it was kind of inevitable. I'd interview him because he's weird in the way of I don't really know who he is. He's kind of one of those guys who I feel like lives a double life, where like he's almost too nice in person, where it's like you do comedy and you do this, like there's something wrong with you. And today, hopefully, we maybe find out. So let's welcome to the show, good friend, funny comic, Crispin Milklor.
Oh, hey, you're there.
Boom. See, that's a segue. That's how I do it.
Uh, I love the intro. No exception, friend. I don't really fucking know this guy. Something's off about him.
Well, no. Well, so like that's no, so like that's you
That's
were
so
talking
funny.
about before how like your podcast is like what that you talk about your first impressions of people.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
that was season one. Yeah.
yeah. So that was like when I was thinking, I was like, huh, so how would I do that with you? And although I have gotten to know you, at the same time, it's like, you're one of those people who is just kind of almost too nice. Like you're
Yeah,
always smiling and happy, but I'm
I get
like,
that shit a lot.
you live a double life. Like there shouldn't be there's no reason to be in comedy when you're this happy.
No, I used to be more of like a like a dog that chased the cars for no reason, and then I realized like I just want to enjoy the art I'm in, man. I don't want to run as much as I used to.
Okay,
That makes
gotcha.
sense.
Yeah, in a way, I think we'll explore that. Yeah. So so let's see. Like, I mean, so how would you define yourself? Like, as far as what you do, or like how you would, you know, when someone says, "What's your deal?" Like, how would you answer that? Like, what's your deal in life? I know you like to
I don't
cook.
know. Yeah, I do like to cook. I think now, just based on the last couple of years, I've really just kind of taken to like I've realized that all the things that I thought I really wanted in life that I worked for, I wasn't really working for them. I just wanted to feel like I was accomplishing things, and now I just do the things that make me happy, and knowing that like I'm lucky that I can feel that way as well. Like learning because I a lot of my friends have like they have like anxiety and depression and stuff, and it sucks. So I read a bunch of books like on CBT and like on like how that works and why it is the way it is, and no, that's never gonna let me know exactly how they feel. But I learned a lot about how lucky you are if you don't have depression and anxiety every day, you know. So with that and like just kind of changing my whole life this past couple of years, man, I found a lot of reasons to be happy because I had a lot of reasons not to be before that. So I don't know, man. I guess my deal is just trying to enjoy life and help the people around me enjoy it too. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And so, was there something that brought this kind of spiritual awakening? Because it seems like you had this path, and then obviously it wasn't satisfying you.
No, I think I remember the exact day and the exact thought that made me change a lot of things in my life. I was working a job. I was making like a good chunk of change. Like I had money, and I had kind of a career that was probably going down a path where I could make a lot of money. And I woke up, and I remember the first thought I had was like, man, I can't wait for this day to be over. And after that, I was like, I can't justify living my life if I'm wishing one of my days is gone and I'm never going to get this day back. And so I decided to like quit my job. I changed my mindset in a lot of ways and like my habits in my life and even like my way of thinking. And it took like a couple of years and I still have a lot of work to do, but like I finally remembered that like, oh, like I want to enjoy things and I want to be as happy as I can be. And it's not always going to be that way. Like you can't be 100% every day, but like that one moment was like, I'm never going to wish that this day was over before it started because I haven't got to experience it yet. And I'm not going to get it back, you know? So
Yeah.
it was just
I
just things like that, like kind of happening.
Yeah, did you feel like you were kind of living in your head too much?
Sometimes when I was younger, but I felt like I kind of got to this point where I was like, if I don't deal with reality and I'm only in my head, like you know how like if you think about something, it's like infinite up there. Once you
Yeah.
like put it on paper out here, it becomes more tangible and reasonable to deal with. And I think at that moment I was living more like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like I'm supposed to get a good job. I'm supposed to make money. I'm supposed to eventually give up on all the things that I wanted that are like almost like fantasy, you know, like dreaming.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that one day I was like, well, it doesn't have to be a fantasy if I put my work towards it. I think I just learned too that like if I really care and like want something, I have to do more work. And that kind of came with like when I started like losing weight, especially, dude, I was like 230 pounds and shit. And I
Oh
was like,
damn.
I love tacos so much, but if I want to like, and no, if you can't lose weight, you know, that's not your fault. I'm lucky enough that I can lose weight. Sometimes it's still difficult, but like, I remember I went
Yeah.
to go tie my shoe and I fucking kneed myself in the stomach, and I was like, all right, I gotta put the tacos down, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But that's
So I
interesting.
don't know.
You know, that was your kind of like your wake up call. I find interesting, and it's not uncommon. I think this the best place you can start at is being like, dude, everyone is feeling this. You know, it's
Yeah,
like I think we all kind of have this. You know, I was kind of writing about it today about like how Disney movies have skewed our sort of reality of what was because when we used to watch Disney movies, like let's say like for example, Marriage. Like
yeah,
Marriage, what it was basically, you know, you got the Beauty and the Beast, and it's like happily ever after. The credits roll, and people go, "Oh my god, I want that." But after the credits roll, you still have to live with that life,
yeah.
and
The
it's
the
still a
best
shit life, you
the
know?
best thing I ever heard was you don't have to find someone like super romantic like Beauty and the Beast. You got to find that person that you're happy to sit next to and eat food that's not as good as you thought it was going to be in your living room in your pajamas. Like, because that's
Yeah.
like the mundane is like where you're supposed to appreciate life the most because mundane means you're okay most times. Because if everything's crazy, dude, you're probably not living your best life if you're making the decisions that are like, I'm gonna move into a castle with this fucking beast
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and that's a good decision. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be hectic. And then you hit your climax, like you said, and then you're like, oh, happily ever after. But it's like, yeah, but that excitement is gonna go away. Like, who do you want
Yeah.
to sit on the couch with and watch fucking Dexter? That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and but that's I think what we kind of stop at that, like, you know, get a job you love, you know,
Yeah,
do this, do that, and you think everything's going to fall into place for you. But I think the Disney credit rolling I was talking about, where it's like it just kind of after a while you realize like this can't be it. You
yeah,
think it's it, you've been sold that it's supposed to be it, but you just realize there's a huge waste of space missing, and if you don't fix it yourself, no one's going to come fix it for you. That's the thing people have to realize. No one's going to come fix it for you. If you just say, "Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Good," then no one's going to come to your rescue in any sort of way. So
yeah.
you have to do it yourself, and that's good that you took that path. What were you doing for work?
Yeah, I was selling cars. I was just selling all the cars I can get my hands on, and I was good at it when I liked it, and
Yeah,
I wanted to do it. But like, I was mediocre, which was still good enough
yeah,
when I didn't want to do it.
dude, that's an empty existence, dude. I've sold furniture for 5 years, so I'm like it's like they intermingle each other. They're kind of one and the same. They
Yeah.
sacrifice your weekends. You usually burned out by the time you get home.
Well, I think the thing is though, like if I think if you can do it, like you've been doing it for a while, like if you can do it, it's a fucking great job, and you're gonna make
Yeah,
good money, and you're not gonna worry about things as much as you think. Because people are always like, "Oh, you work on commission, you're gonna be broke." Like, no, like it's kind of the opposite. Like I'm gonna be real rich for a month, and then kind of broke the next month if I'm unlucky, but most likely not.
yeah,
But I would think if like I always tell people, if you want to make money and you can do it, like dude, sales is where it's at. Like everybody
mhm.
needs salesmen and good ones too. So if you've been doing it for 5 years, I'm sure it's draining, but like you probably have whatever you need to have to keep doing that. Whereas I was like, I was like, I don't know, I don't think this is taking me where I want to go. But
Mm.
you know, I wish I liked it because honestly, I like the money. And the money was
Yeah,
so good.
but
But
it's almost impossible to like really make a balanced life out of it because when
yeah,
you make the money, but you only have like just enough energy to drink. Like that's
yeah,
really like when your feet are just swollen, you're super tired, but yeah, you made $1,200 that day. So you're like,
Even like socially, you're fucking dead because you've been
yeah,
talking, patting people up, and asking them
hmm
questions you don't give a shit about. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, took away all my stand-up prowess. Like, I was starting to do open mics in like, let's see, end of 2017, then slowly into 2018, and then I found Ashley Furniture, and I was like, whoa, I'm making $8,000 a month. I've never done this in my life.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
okay,
better.
I'm dead tired, but it really coincides with what you were saying though. Like, I mean, we really are kind of one and the same in that way, where it's like I would rather take that 60 grand an hour job, or I mean 60 grand a year, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're all good. Yeah, Lionel Messi doesn't even make that much, but like yeah, 60 grand a year just to be able to like do everything we want to do, stand up and all sort of such. I would take that over like the 200,000 a year, but you can't do anything with your time type of
Yeah,
job any
it's
day.
it's just hard. Once you start making good money and you get comfortable with it, it's hard to downgrade. Like right now, I got lucky when I moved here. I got a good job, but like sometimes I do look at comedy and I'm like, in order to make that much, I got to be like a touring like club comic who has a giant following. Like it's gonna be hard, but at the same time, like I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I don't really think about quitting my job anytime soon. I don't think I'm funny enough yet, but when I
Mm-hmm.
am, I think it'll be something to think about. But it is going to be hard to consider because like once you have a good job, it's hard to want to give that up for like your dream, you know.
Yeah. What
But
is your goal with stand up?
I actually, you know, somebody else asked me this before, and I really just I know I should have better goals because when I first started, I had a list and I said I want somebody to tell me I had like their favorite joke, and then I wanted somebody to buy me a beer because they like my stand up, and then
Yeah.
I wanted to feature, I wanted to headline, I wanted to close out a show and host, and I did all that stuff in my first year. The only one I didn't do is I didn't headline a show because
Mm-hmm.
I got booked for one, but then it was the same day I was going to visit my family back home, so I couldn't do it. But the second year, I kind of just said I wanted to get better. So every month, I've tried a different tactic with comedy to see if I can figure out like my where my style is going.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of been my goal for this year. But long term, I haven't really thought about it too much because my goal right now is like none of that matters unless I get funny enough to get there. And right now, I think I'm still learning how to be myself on top of like my voice, on top of being funny, on top of reading rooms and on top of like finding my style. And it's like I have to keep trying all these different things first before I even because it's the thing is like I can have all the goals I want, but like if I don't really hustle this year and like really try to get better, then that's like I'm not taking the steps that I need to get there. So I don't really even look past like this year. Um I mean
Yeah.
eventually I think just going professional is just a thing, but right now I'm just like I just want to get funnier. Like that's the only goal I have.
Yeah, no, that's good. And man, like me and Brandon were talking about it, where it's like, what the end game is far from where we are.
Yeah.
Like I mean, what the, where people go, God, I want to be a headliner. I want to make a living off of it. Like,
Yeah.
what people need to understand is like the people you're watching that are funny on these viral clips have been doing it for tens of years, a
I always
long
hear 10,
time.
10 years is the sweet spot. That's why I'm like, I'm not even gonna stress. Like everybody
Yeah.
gets like upset when they're like, I haven't got booked for anything. I'm like, yeah, but go to a mic. You can go to an open mic. Just be funny there, and then you
Yeah.
know things will come if you keep working hard at it. Like you don't have to pull anything out of the air. Just keep working. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. And I like what one thing we pointed out was noticing that how many people are trying to make clips, trying to go
Oh
viral,
yeah, yeah.
when it's like, dude,
Oh
you're
dude.
2-3 years into the mix. Like this is Jimmy Karatz. Shout out to him, Australian comedian who came down here for a little bit, been kind of mentoring me in a nice way. He's like, dude, this is school. You're getting your bachelor's degree right now. Like 4 years. That's where you can be like, pretty sure you have your voice down. Pretty sure you
Yeah,
have your voice down. You're pretty good in that way. Then 8 years you get your master's. You can kind of probably go anywhere. By that
yeah.
point, if you've circled the right amount of times or the right venues, you've tried
Mhm.
the clubs, you're doing the divey dives. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. It just like
Okay,
flashed on me.
okay. Yeah. Like yeah. So like you got to do the clubs, do that, do fucking as Ian Bag was saying, do the buffets or places they don't expect you.
Yeah.
Like by then you should have your voice, but um Yeah, I think it's social media is kind of a disease to a lot of people, where especially comics or people trying to perform, that think that, oh, that's like, it should be an escalating. I just opened, now let me feature. Well, I just featured, now let me headline. Like, it just
Yeah.
and I've had to learn that myself. I am not any better, not any high horse. It's all from learning, and through my own detriments is learning that, like, it's ebbs and flows, and like you said, you do the work, and you have to just be patient
Yeah,
with yourself and your material.
it is strange though. There is like I'm sure you've seen like Lynette. She's still technically like if you because I like when people are like, oh, y'all are in the same class. Like I never heard about that until I started doing comedy. But like
Hmm.
technically we're in the same class. Like or no, you might be technically ahead of me because you started earlier. But like me and Lynette are kind of in the same class, and like she does a good job of like she doesn't stay after the shows, which is what they always say you have to do. You have to network and stuff. But her
Hmm.
material is like, excuse me, it's clean and sharp enough that she just got a solid 10 and just pushed that shit everywhere she could get it, which got her into like the rooms. And then she pushed for the solid 15 right after. And then now she's getting into more rooms. Now I saw her do her, like, I remember I was there when she did her first full, like 30 minutes, I think. And she took her kid on stage in the
Hmm.
beginning. And like, it was a fun, like, she just has whatever it is voice that you got to find. I think she found hers earlier, and she does use social media just enough that I can tell she's promoting. But like you said, I think there's some people that use the social media aspect too much. Like the followers are important. Like you're gonna need an audience when you get good, but I do wonder like what the balance is between because I don't use social media at all. I never used it before I started doing comedy. So
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder if I'm imbalanced in like work because you have to put your work into like parts of your comedy, your writing, everything else. But social media is going to be a part of it eventually, and I'm going to have zero experience. I've tried to start doing it, but I really just don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm never going to be the guy that goes viral because I don't do anything stupid on camera. I barely do anything stupid off camera, so I'm not going to be
Yeah.
like singing and shit in my car or fucking. I don't know. That stuff's cool. Whatever. That's your thing. That's fine. But like to me, I'm like that looks so fucking dumb. like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you look so stupid right now for no reason. But they're also having fun, so I don't want to judge them too harsh. If I could have that kind of fun, I would, but it's just not in me.
Yeah. I
But
think finding that's one thing, that, like you said, we all have to eventually do, and it's finding that thing that, because that's what it is. It's like, I'm looking at some of the good comedians who can put out constant videos,
yeah,
and some of them just have found their own way to have fun. Because it can be taxing. Where it's like, let me think of a concept, make people laugh, and then you're like, I already have comedy bits. That's to do that. It's like you gotta got a bit to, or a video to make them, like, to lure them in, and then have your own bits. But some people are just kind of, doing the thing where they react to videos and things like that. So it's like everyone has their thing they can find. I think it just depends on how much you actually want to do it. Like, if you don't, then good. But sounds like you do. You should think of a way to, like, have fun. You cook for people because you cook, right? Oh shit.
um, there it goes, there it goes. I
You
was like
good?
trying to figure out your full sentence, yeah, by using like every other word, but I heard you say like you're making a video and then you're like I already have a bit on this, like where, and I missed after
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah, no, no. So I'll start over. So basically, what I was kind of just kind of giving some advice for you is, like, thinking about, because you want to do videos, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I want to learn how to use social media in the most efficient way possible so that I don't have to use it very often. And I'm watching
Hmm.
other people and like, because I know you can see everybody's followers. So I've been watching who's been getting followers faster and what they usually do and what they post and where they go. And kind of just like, and I read some book about becoming a social media like personality. And
Yeah,
with that and watching people actually do it, I'm trying to build like the most efficient model to use social media without having to be on it every day because I really don't like being on my phone that much if I can help it. It's so fucking fun to
yes,
do. Like, cause
but it's
especially with all,
dangerous.
yeah, all my feed is just apes and like puppies and shit just hanging out. I fucking love it. And chimps who are rescued, I fucking love watching those.
So
Uh,
what, the chimps away? They get rescued. It's like rescuing
Yeah, yeah.
chimps.
I love like chimps and like apes and like orangutans and stuff. So like my feed is just flooded with them. And now it's also flooded with like there's an orangutan who adopted a bunch of baby tigers and lions and stuff. and bottle feeds them and plays with them. And I'm like, this is a great fucking way to start my day, just watching this.
That is
Kicking my
awesome.
feet.
Fuck, man. I need
Yeah.
to have my shit curated like that. That's awesome.
I cured my algorithm so quick. I just like only watch things that are gonna be fun. Some stuff sneaks in though, man. I'll see some weird shit like some robots and ghosts, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch a ghost, man. It's 1 in the morning. I'm trying to
Yeah.
scroll on my phone now that I've done everything I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I'd say for you, like, some people think there's like a format that you have to do. Do that. Be like, hey, look, I'm a guy who I love watching the shit. And if you can even provide commentary on it, then great.
Yeah,
Like that should be something like I think it's like comedy. It's a long game. Define people who are getting the most followers, how quick. It's good, but it can also be dangerous because you go, okay, well, if she's doing this, I gotta,
yeah.
and
Oh no, that's one thing. That's what I was saying. Like I see people like singing on their camera in their car, like
yeah,
doing
no,
goofy shit, and I'm like,
that ain't
that's
it,
cool. Like, yeah, but that's not for me. I was like, I don't know. Maybe one day, like if my friends were around, I'd be stupid like that. But just by myself in my car, I just feel so sad. I feel
dude.
so bad about myself.
I
Oh man.
just TikTok is the TikTok reactors, I think,
Oh
are
dude.
the
Oh my god.
lowest form of entertainment
Do you
of
know when they
content creation.
voice over someone else's content through their voice? I'm like, go fuck yourself,
Dude,
you fucking
dude.
nerd. Oh.
Unfortunately, there's a lot
Yeah.
of females that I want to hook up with that do that. So I
You're
can't
like, you don't
exactly.
know them. They're artists.
I wanted, exactly, no, no.
You're
Like
defending
on
them.
Facebook, I've wanted to say
Yeah.
that so many times of being like reaction artists are the
Yeah.
lowest form of content creators possible. But there's so
Yeah.
many people who do that. Like it's like a motivating thing where it's just like, in the end, we all die alone. It's like, well, maybe I want to die alone. And they're voicing the whole thing. I'm just
Yeah.
like, that is
Dude,
so gross.
I
It
can't
is
watch
so
them.
gross.
Those don't pop up on my feed anymore. I like put dislike or I down every single one of those that pops up, so
Yeah.
I don't see them anymore. But like every once in a while, one will sneak in. Yeah, and it's like, I'm not like this. If you're gonna stop me, what's that one? Like, you gotta kill me. And I'm like,
Oh,
like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, easily, I'll kill you. Yeah, to get you to stop doing this. Yeah. Uh,
Tell them. Yeah, the Ozark. That was from Ozark.
yeah. I haven't seen the show, but now I'm gonna watch it. But what
Good
the fuck?
one, dude.
We were talking about something right before this that you were saying that I was like gonna jump onto.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm just saying that like how you would want to do videos, and I mean,
oh yeah,
I had a streak of videos, and I'm sort of in the writing process of like making videos and like just seeing what I like again, because
yeah.
I was when I tried to do on Instagram a year ago, I had a few viral clip whatever do good, but it just
But
kind of it felt like the rat race you're talking about, where it like in the end I was kind of chasing likes, not doing what I liked,
yeah,
and
that,
so I kind of was like, yeah, I don't know what I really want to do, but I know what I don't want to do,
yeah.
so I have that marginalized in there.
See,
But
that's good
yeah,
though. It's good that you tried it because you wouldn't have found that flaw in your content making without actually doing it, and that's like a benefit of actually trying things. Is you might have the fantasy that like if I do this, everything's gonna be great, but then when you actually do it, you experience all the trials or like all the failures, and you're like, this is not fucking worth it. This sucks. Or like
right.
you find like what you don't want to do, which is a good thing. But I don't know, man. I think that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say I remember what I wanted to say earlier. I watch
Mhm.
scary videos on YouTube, and now they have
Yeah,
reaction scary videos, and I hate it so much because like I just want to see the scary stuff. I want to be scared. I don't want to watch you be scared unless like I'm chasing you. Then that's fun. But like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a game of tag. I'm not like in the street just finding people.
You know what fucking annoys me is the fact that we all know you've seen this clip.
Yeah,
You've
oh,
seen
yeah,
the clip, but they act surprised. They
yeah,
act surprised, and they do that thing where like it'll be on your screen, like
yeah.
like
In their
with a,
face.
yeah, yeah. It'll be something like the ones that I mean the best ones that still suck are when it's like really good food, a good recipe, and
Oh
they've already
yeah.
seen it, but they go, ooh, oh, oh. I'm like, bitch, how many times did you practice that? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you
Oh,
know
dude,
what it is. Just
I
just stop
can't.
taking
Yeah.
credit from someone else's stuff, and why don't you make something of yourself? Like, that's
Dude,
just what's so
I can't
annoying.
send a voice message without re-recording it. So if my face was on something, like even this, I'm just like, we should re-record this. Let's just start over.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
I
man,
don't
you
know.
good,
I
dude? You got
mean,
the smile,
oh yeah, I got this. I got the easy salesman smile, man. That's what I get. Uh,
dude. I bet you closed some motherfuckers. You
I
handed
close
them
a
the pen
lot
and
of
say,
deals.
"Hey, hey guys, let's start the new adventure."
Oh no, I'm all about comfortability. I'm like, look, like you got everything you liked out of this car. It might not have everything, but it's got the price, and that's the most important thing to you. So, I
Yeah,
mean, if you want to drive around in it some more, I'm fine taking a drive. If not, like, go for it. It's all yours.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Uh,
Comfortability for sure.
I was trying to think. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I don't know. I think eventually I'll get into making more videos. I've just been doing. It's funny that you mentioned clips. I've been going through all my old. Have you watched like your sets from like when you first started, dude? Right?
Like it was like this and it was like that.
Yeah, dude.
Boom! I fucking hate
That
it
shit make the
so
bottom of my
bad.
fucking feet sweat, man. I hate
Oh,
it. I have to
oh,
watch all my old ones to see what bits actually are worth trying to rewrite for this purge
mhm.
this month.
Yeah.
And not that I'm that much better than I was back then, but I've improved and like seeing those, I'm like, God, like that's why I'm kind of like I'm kind of 50-50 on being glad I didn't do social media immediately, but I also
Mhm.
think that I'm behind with people who have done it early. Like, even though we're making fun of the people who do like the reaction vids, like some of them do go viral and some of them have like a base already to build content on. And like you said, like once you find what you like, and like that's why it's such a good idea to find what you like and make that into the content you make so that you're always doing something you enjoy. That's such a
Mhm.
good way to think about it. And it's weird because like I've read about that and I fucking forgot that that's like one of the most important things. So these
Isn't that
people
some
making
shit?
their yeah, and the people making their reactions, that's their happiness. And to us, it might look dumb, but they're probably looking at us doing stand up and they're like, why would you stand in a bar where no one's listening for fucking a free
That's
beer and a chicken strip, you know? Like, so
fuck
everybody has
that.
room to judge, but it's like whatever you do
Yeah.
is what you do, just be the best at it. So I think
Right.
you're right though. Like getting into social media is going to be like smarter if I find a fun way to do it. I think that does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of inevitable. I'd say, like I mean, with like I just started doing streaming too. Like I just feel like anything that can keep you in the creative space or at least
Yeah,
promote it for people like us who are trying to create more, it's been very helpful. It's very
yeah,
helpful to just be in that space and when you are writing, because sometimes I've written down jokes that weren't jokes. Like I mean, they,
yeah,
they were jokes, but I'm like, I did it in film form, did great. On stage, what the fuck are you doing? Like I just go,
yeah.
whoa, this. I was like, you write a concept, you're like, this has something, but then sometimes you do it on stage, you go, it ain't for this medium. That's a fucking show. Holy shit,
Yeah,
And I've done it in video
yeah,
form, and it kills.
yeah.
Like, whoa, okay, I did it right. You whatever, spice it where you should, and do the right little or whatever little facial expression, and it
Oh,
hits.
so you wrote something for the stage as content, but it was better as content for something else. I see what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you might, you can go back in your old notes and be like, hey, this really bombed on stage. Would this be? Is this something that needs to be? Sometimes it's a theater of the mind,
Yeah.
but if you create that imagery, then it'll actually just be the exact joke you want
Yeah, that
or
makes
what
sense.
you were looking for.
I have some because I usually write while I drive, so I just like talk out loud in my car and see what comes out of my brain naturally. Because
Mm,
I like Whitney Cummings' idea where she said like the stage is supposed to be all of because like your first thought you're not in control of either that's how you brought up or that's like some weird trauma response or whatever the fuck she says. I don't know, but she said like your first thought is like the most important thing to bring to stage because that's a part of like a big part of who you really are. And you're not responsible for your first thought, you are responsible for your first action, so your action shows who you choose to be beyond that first thought. And so when I drive in my car, I'll talk and just let my brain say whatever it says. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just mean. So that's a fun way. That's a fun way to write. But there is some stuff I'll write down, and I'm like, that can't be a joke, but it could be a good conversation. I'll write it down for like a podcast.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Wait,
Which I should
what
have.
was it? What was the quote though? Your first thought is
Oh, so
she said what?
the quote from Whitney Cummings is or it's from another book too she read, but it says you're not responsible for your first thought, but you are responsible for your first action.
Mm,
And the reason your first thought's important is because supposedly it's like it's the way you were raised. It's the way that your brain reacts to everything because that's just who you are. Like it's almost like you don't have a choice on what that first thought is. Like it's almost, I forgot who, somebody had a great bit about it, and I can't remember. Oh, I think it was Bill Burr, and he said that he goes that he saw these two guys kissing, and he didn't mean to react this way, but he went like and he was like fuck,
Yeah,
because then everybody's, are you homophobic? And he's like, no, I just wasn't expecting to see that. He goes, and it'd be the same if I saw like anybody kissing. I'd just be like, oh, come on, like get a room. But because
yeah,
there was that, like he just reacted, and that was like him responding with his first thought facially. But how he actually feels is like he doesn't think that's a bad thing. He thinks that's fine, the community, whatever. But that was like interesting that he brought that on stage because that can be judged real quickly, you know. But then he
hmm
gets to dive into like his first action, which was acknowledging that like that's not how he actually feels, you know. It's almost like a trigger response. That's why like I've been trying to bring more of my first thoughts on the stage, but sometimes they're more like a speech, and I'm like I don't want to do a speech on stage. I want to do jokes, and if I can do a setup with that and do a good punchline, cool. But if it's coming out like I'm telling my ideas because I think I'm fucking clever, like I don't think that's fun. I think that's just like you can have this conversation with your friends, but if you're gonna be on stage, like be funny. Like I don't give a
yeah,
fuck what your opinion is unless it's gonna be funny.
yeah. Trim out the meat, make it actually
Yeah,
something digestible. No, but that's like, and that's why probably that joke hits so resonates so amazingly, is because that we all have that sort of thing where it's just like, you know, it's very rare exception that like someone's truly a bad person, and not only a bad person, but a bad person at a show, So when there's that sort of moment comes up where like we can all relate to that, where there's that action where something catches you out of nowhere, but then you look around and you're like, that was the wrong response.
yeah, yeah.
It
You're
was
like,
the
why did
wrong
I do that?
response. Yeah, and that's why that's what Bill Burr hits so good, is like he's almost like a intuitive stoner comic. The
Yeah,
way he can break down the actions and the thoughts, where like you're just like, oh wow, that's like the goal with comedy for me, is like to find those things that we we do we can't admit to, but once it's acted on stage, we go, oh shit, it's like, you know what, I am 1% racist, or something like that, where
yeah,
it's like, it's like we all are to a degree, like we're all like have some sort of racism,
yeah.
I mean
Or like a
people.
judgment. Like everybody has
Yeah.
judgment that
Hmm.
they do, whether it's like involuntary or not. But yeah,
Yeah.
like bringing that truth of like everybody's got it. Like it's
Yeah.
not bad if you do, as long as you don't do anything bad. I see it. Like I get what you're saying. That's why it's like not everybody's 100% evil, but everybody's
No,
got 1% at least of
everybody's
like
a
some
little
fucked up
bit.
thing they do. Yeah.
Exactly, got a little bit
I
of
was
plankton in us.
That's what I was telling. I was actually hanging out with Jeremiah and Brandon last time somewhere,
Nice.
and
Good
we were
people.
talking about if like, because there was a lumber yard across the street from where we were at, and we were just saying like if some fucking zombie bullshit, that usual zombie conversation was like, what would you do? And I'm like, guys, I would kill everyone so fast to keep y'all safe. And they're like, we didn't even go that far. Like, what do you?
You
That's
fast
fucking
forwarded.
shit. Yeah, yeah. They were like, you went too far, and like, who's attacking? I'm like, I don't know, but we'll get
Are you a gun guy?
them. I would like to be more. I actually, I'm trying to plan a hunting trip up here. I've never been hunting. I would like to go. Um, I haven't even gone to the range yet, though. I've shot guns before, but like not in a setting that's probably safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I want to get more like responsible with them, I guess I should say. So I'm gonna go to the range hopefully soon. I'm gonna go get my license. I'll probably get one just to have, just in case. But I want to be efficient with them before I have one in my apartment or my house.
Smart. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna need that. What's gotten you into? I feel like people are either everybody's getting into hunting, first of all, but it's like either everybody's gotten into it because of Joe Rogan or because of the economy. Like
Yeah,
anybody who's done it, it's like one or two. Everybody's like, I need to start. I'm fucking broke. I need to catch some food, or they're like, Joe Rogan's my savior, and I need to hunt like him.
yeah. Well, they're following the priest and shit. Uh,
Yeah.
no, my meals cost like less than $5 a day, and I eat the same shit every day, so I don't really care about my food cost. But I just
Okay.
think it'd be a good experience to. Like, it's like one of those things. Like I have a list of things I've always wanted to learn to do, and eventually there's going to be a point where like there's some I'm going to have to take off because I'm just not capable of doing them
Mhm.
anymore. Um, and this isn't, I don't want this to be one of them. So like I want to go learn how to like do this now. So I just want to do it mostly for the experience, and plus like I know a gun seems kind of cheap when it comes to hunting because like I know Joe Rogan does like the bow and stuff, and you can do like all you can do all these different things, but I think it'd just be good to hunt my food for once, just to get the
Hmm.
experience. I've never had to hunt anything down. Like I'm pretty sure like I know people have like chickens in their yard where I'm from, so they probably just go out there and snap the neck and that they're like, I hunted this shit. I'm like, kinda.
Yeah, yeah.
But
In a
but
caged environment doesn't count.
yeah. So I kinda wanna like go and hunt and like, thank nature of course for the food and everything else, but like put a little bit of work into it.
Yeah. So what you said there's some things that have kind of passed by that you think are too late for you to do. What is one of those?
Oh, well, not yet. Like, I think, like, I eventually want to learn to like break dance and shit, just for fun.
Me
Um,
too. Me
and
too,
like,
dude. I've
I,
always wanted to do the windmill. I've
yeah,
always wanted to. I
dude,
tried
I
in my
practice.
kickboxing gym for like a month straight,
Yeah,
and I could do the like on the slide and try to do the corner twist, but to do the full rotation is like some
it's
really hard, perfect timing shit
it's the
in
rotation on the
abs.
shoulders. Like when you spin that second roll on the shoulder, it's so hard
Hmm.
to do that.
Yeah,
Um, and what I think what it is too is that you kind of have to go backwards because like when you do the first spin, you know how you're kind of throwing your right leg. I don't know if you're right. Are you right or left-handed?
right-handed.
Okay, yeah. So that
So I might
second
start
part,
this
yeah,
way by
yeah.
look, but
So
really,
that
yeah,
second part, I think it's mostly left leg, and I think just using your body that way, if you're not used to it, is just so weird. Because I know
yeah,
I can do the first spin too, but getting into the second one, I have so much trouble.
yeah.
Um,
That's all it
but
takes. There's a 3 minute video 3 minutes how to do the windmill, and the
yeah,
guy he breaks it down as best as you can do.
and he does it so
That's
easy too, right?
yeah. And yeah, no, but he's like, you do this, and all you gotta do is swing that, and it should be it. I was stuck on that
Yeah,
part, and
yeah. I
I
got stuck
just
on the
was like,
same
fuck.
part.
Yeah, man, it's just it's the thing of being like seeing it and actually doing it. It's I think the margin of that might be one of the highest in things that could do. So breakdancing is one of them.
Yeah, well, I see. So like that's just an example because eventually, like, I'm not going to be able to break dance. I'm going to be if I'm like 35, 40 years old. I mean, that'd
You're
be
gonna
cool. Like, I would like to stay in shape enough to be able to, but like at a certain
mhm.
point, like actually, Joe Rogan reminded me of this because he said that he threw a kick because him and his buddies were all going crazy. And then he also did like a bench press. They were trying to do their max bench. And he's like, I forget that I'm like old as shit as much as I feel healthy. Because that was when he tore his shoulder. And then that time he threw that kick, he actually fucked up his knee. And
Right.
it's like,
Yeah, I think
and
he
it,
said he was drunk and he was like
yeah,
doing that little like a reader, which is lethal. Like
yeah,
the like just to have something that can like read impact for a
yeah.
guy, I think is lethal, especially if you drink.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because your competitive side comes out because you just want to fucking
Mhm.
win. It's so fun to win.
Like that
Um,
punching machine, like the punching machine at the bars,
oh, yeah. Dude, I've seen
dude.
people crack their fucking hands on that thing.
Yeah, the
Um,
fucking dude's fucking tight as fucking shirt, just like what
that's me.
the fuck. There you go.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
to get that high score.
hell yeah,
Um,
man.
and plus, when you hit it just right and it fucking slams and it's all full bar
Whoosh.
turns, you're like, my bad, I didn't know. That was just
Oh,
my warm up.
whoops. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, that's legit. So breakdancing is one.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
there are there other goals you think have passed you, or is it
no, I don't think any of them have passed yet. I'm just
okay?
realistic with the idea that like some of them will pass eventually. Where like I'm not gonna have the same desire to do them that I do now because there's things that I wanted when I was younger. Like MMA was something that I thought I was gonna do when I was younger, and like I couldn't afford to do it. So like
Mhm.
luckily I had a friend who was like a really good martial artist, so he taught me a lot of stuff, which was nice. But actually getting like dedicating my efforts and time in a professional setting with like a coach who's been coaching somebody for years and like learning more and experiencing more. Like I didn't do that when I was younger, and like it would have been cool if I did, but I didn't because I didn't really want it as bad as I thought I did. But now that I'm older, like I don't think I would ever get into MMA now. Like I know there's people like I know Randy Couture got into it when he was like 32 or something, or he was kind of older.
Yeah, yeah. He definitely was in his 30s.
Yeah,
I got into it when I was 26, 27.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, I'm 33 now, and I'm planning on going back to the gym next month and hopefully do a smoker. I think I need to do some sort of because, like you're saying, the time that I mean, there's for any window of sport, MMA
yeah,
has probably the smallest. You
yeah.
know, So it's like, I mean, I think I got to do a smoker by 35, or else I got to say that's in the past.
I think they said that 35 is the prime for MMA for their like intelligence. But I think a
Hmm.
lot of fighters say if they had the knowledge and experience that they have at 35 in their 20s, they would have been like the greatest fighter the world's ever seen. Which I think John Bone Jones fucking got that lucky because he was good since he was like what 19 and shit.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, well, he wrestled, he did wrestling, so the perfect background, and
Yeah,
then came into it just perfect, and then having world champion football brothers Arthur and Chandler Jones,
perfect
who both
genetics.
have who both have Super Bowl rings, so it's
Mm,
just like you were the youngest brother who got his ass beat, so you had to defend yourself in some way. It's
yeah.
yeah, no, it's just the perfect manual. And nowadays, dude, when it comes to, are you into mixed martial arts? Are you into
Uh,
like the sport of it?
yeah, I watch it. I'm not like an avid watcher, but I know like who the champs are. I know who the people coming up are a little bit.
Gotcha. Did you see last? Did you see on Saturday, Sean Strickland?
So I was supposed to watch it, and I had a board game day, and I was like, I'll put the fight on in the background, and
Yeah.
then
Phew.
I completely fucking forgot it was Saturday, and I was like, as soon as I saw the new champ, I was like, motherfucker, I can't believe I missed it. I've never missed an Izzy fight, and I like Sean Strickland. I thought he was a good guy. He seems all right. He seems like a good fighter.
Yeah.
Um, and he definitely changed after the Pereira fight.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. He Pereira helped him train for this
yeah,
fight too.
and I think that's like as much as he says a lot of like crazy shit. Like I do like enjoy listening to him talk. He's fucking crazy, but he also like acknowledged that Pereira was better than him in that, so he went to go get better. Like I think that shows a lot about who he is as a person, as much
Oh
as his
yeah.
words are so wild.
Yeah, man. MMA is such an interesting sport where it's like you talk shit to somebody, you hate them, and right when it's over, right when it's done, there's just this bond where you go like, "Hey, man, you got me. I might need your help too." Like you
Yeah,
go from, I mean, did you hear what Strickland was saying about Adesanya, where he's like, "Man, you're a Chinaman."
yeah,
He
yeah.
did,
Because
he
he,
did claim he's from China, which is really
yeah,
weird. We're just like, dude, you have Nigeria and New Zealand that you
yeah.
could claim, but instead you're gonna say you're Chinese. Like that's
I
it's
think Izzy's one of those people that just says wild shit. Like he's a first thought kind of guy. He says his first thoughts and they're so wild and out there that you're like, what the hell are you talking about? And sometimes they're funny and interesting, but other times they're just so fucking I don't know what's the word. Like they're too random to make
yeah,
sense sometimes. But yeah, I saw
right.
that video where he said he was Chinese and I was like, what is this? Like where's the context for this shit? Because I don't understand what's happening.
Right. He's just really into anime. Like I kind of figured, and I was hoping there'd be some like I am Naruto in spirit, and he would do it, but I was like, nothing there.
Now he already did
Yeah.
the Gara and what's his name? Lee pose when he was going against Anderson Silva.
Oh, doing the dance? Was it the dance going up to the octagon or?
No, when they faced off, he did Rock Lee's pose from Naruto, and then Anderson Silva stood the same way Gara did the Demon of the Sand
Hmm.
before they fought. So it was like a weird anime moment that happened in real life, in his life, And if you're like an anime fan, that's like the coolest shit that could happen.
Oh, okay. I was into it back in the Toonami
Yeah,
days, and then Adult Swim, Trigun, um,
they had Trigun. They used to have
Cowboy
anything
Bebop,
else on there. They have what?
Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop,
Bebop. I never watched it. I never saw it. I
one
heard
of
it's good.
the best. Like those are ones I'd go back and watch. Honestly, for nowadays, like when it's like Naruto season 22, the ship has sailed for me. Like I'm
Dude,
not gonna go back
now
to
it's
it.
Boruto. Now it's about his son. It's pretty fucking wild.
Of course, like
Yeah,
any money grab, it's just like and for me, also like Dragon Ball Z. I hear they have new ones coming out. I was like, dude, let it rest.
I will say, dude, they're pretty good. Like
Is it?
they're so I got tickets to go see the movie when it first came out because I was like, okay, like Battle of the Gods, I'll see what's up. It's pretty good, and then they kind of like expanded the world, so it made it more than just Earth, and it ended up being more fun than I thought it was going to be. And then where they're taking the characters, especially like Vegeta has never really gotten his due throughout the series, and he's had like a lot of bad moments. Is they're actually building a character for him that makes more sense because he
Hmm.
was a good family guy. Like if you ever saw them like the Boo series, he becomes like a real father and like a real human being, and he doesn't really like it, but he accepts it that's who he is, and he kind of like goes against it at first. So he has an actual growth. And in the new series, they're showing more of that stuff too, which like I am a Dragon Ball Z fan, and like
Mhm.
I know it's a money grab, but I'm like, fucking take my money, man. Just show me more people fighting. I like it.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to hear. I'm always kind of superstitious, honestly, when it comes to sequels. I just
Are they
really go
bringing
money
Ghost
grab.
this season? I don't know.
Right, right. But I mean, like for me, like with Star Wars, I'm kind of the same way where it
Yeah,
scares me. Like after the biggest turds in history, the
yeah,
Phantom Menace. Here's the thing: is like Star Wars is out of order. About like how the sequence of things goes. It's out of
yeah,
order.
yeah. They did
It's
part. He literally put part four, and they're like, "What the hell happened to the first three? Did y'all see? Did y'all see them?"
Right. Well, right. Yeah. It's like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. And even still, some people go, no, no, no. You want to watch it 4, 5, 2. Like there's a weird order
Oh,
that actually
Yeah, yeah.
chronologically makes more sense.
Rogue One is in between, I think, one and two, or it's before one.
Yeah.
It's
Something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
kind of strange. Yeah, and I know it does suck because like I was really excited for the newer ones and they were cool, like the concepts, but they didn't. I think it's when they stopped caring about the story and they're just like, how much money can we get out of people? And that's the thing that like kind of sucked with the new Star Wars is like Rey, the character was really good, but her journey was so quick that I couldn't really enjoy the process of the story. The
Yeah.
Stormtrooper had a better story than she did, and she had like a really interesting backstory.
Yeah.
Uh, Wait, I want to know, are you going to do your smoker soon? I want to go see. Can I go see it?
Man, so I haven't been in the gym since May.
Yeah,
So when that happens, it'll be great. But yeah, for now, I don't know. I want to, but like I mean, talking about it right now, I'm like shit, dude. Like, kind of now is the time when it
yeah,
comes to it. But yeah, man, fuck, I need good insurance too. That's what's very important.
yeah,
Honestly, dude, you cannot like, especially jujitsu. You cannot do jujitsu and have bad insurance because
yeah,
one little fucking boop, like, oh great, I can't use my fucking arm.
yeah.
Like that is the hardest part about it. But if you don't know that, let's see, is the biggest turd. I want to try this out. I want to try this out since um, my software can show the screen. I want to show you this real quick since you are a fan of Star Wars. Um, all right, let's see. Screen share, not that.
That looks pretty
Luckily that
cool.
wasn't. Luckily that wasn't porn. That'd have been terrible.
Yeah,
Would that be some shit? That'd be so fucking crazy.
John Jones deep fakes.
D. Okay, let's see here. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Is it show there?
yeah, I can see it.
There we go, dude. This guy. So it's the Red Letter Media, probably the best critiquers of movies. But they've made 10 million views
Jesus.
of how Star Wars: The Phantom Menace is the biggest turd possible. And this is just like for a minute, like this is a satire of this guy being like a fat loser, but it's really funny. Here, let's take a listen real quick.
Go for it.
Star Wars The Phantom Menace was the most disappointing thing since my son. I mean, how much more could you possibly fuck up the entire backstory to Star
I
Wars?
miss Jar Jar Binks.
My son
Right?
eventually hanged
I like
himself in
him.
the bathroom of the gas station. The unfortunate reality of the Star Wars prequels is that they'll be around
Oh, I don't
forever.
think it's sharing the sound.
They
I can
will
only see it.
never go
Oh, really?
away.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
They could
shit!
never be
It's all
undone.
right. It's
Damn it!
practice, man.
You're
No, no, no.
someone who
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Have you watched Honest trailers?
What's that?
Have you watched Honest trailers?
No.
That's pretty fun. They basically make realistic trailers of like movies and like what it really is. So like when you say like it's a cash grab, like they will like slowly point that out throughout but it's called Honest trailers. It's really funny. They do like all the famous movies now. People just like suggest them, and then they have like the best voice actor I think I've heard for trailers in a while. So I watch those every now and then, and they kind of point all that shit out in the Honest trailers.
Yeah. Damn, that's brutal. You should watch it though. And sorry to everybody for that minute of silence. But it's where he
I
was
should have
showing that
told you.
guy
I'm
where he
sorry.
was showing that where he's showing that guy. He was like, unlike my son who eventually hung himself in a gas station bathroom, these sequels will go on forever. But it's just like a parody of just like
Yeah.
how shitty it is. And he does a really good breakdown where he's like, name the main character of this. Go on, oh wait. Like he asks like people on the street who are like diehard fans at a convention. They're like, but anyways, money grab, cash grab, all sort of stuff, man. It's good stuff.
I don't know. Whoever made Rogue One, that's who they should keep because that was a good one. That was like one of
That
the
one's
few
worth
that I was
watching.
like, yeah. Have you seen it?
Mandalorian's good. Mandalorian's good
Mandalorian.
too. I was afraid to watch it. I was in Florida with my dad, and I was like, you know what, man, I'll give this a shot.
You're
Like,
like, I'm in Florida, man. I'm taking chances. Let's watch.
Yeah. For all my stigma for sequels, I was like, let's see, and I go, God damn it, they got me.
Yeah.
And with Bill Burr, you're like, they have Bill Burr too.
That's the problem though too. Like they lure you with the good stuff and then they give you shit, and you're like, damn it, dude, those motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, and then they do the toys.
Yeah,
everything to do that, dude. I mean, it's like how they're not billionaires by now is like kind of their fault.
I think they are. Disney bought them. Disney bought freaking everything. I was gonna ask too. Did you have a time limit on these? I always forget to ask because like.
No.
Okay. Just so I'm just like, tell me about your entire life real quick. We got 3 minutes.
No, you're good. No, the first one actually I did do on Zoom for free, and unfortunately it was Noah, who Noah, right?
Oh yeah. Glasses.
Yeah, dude, that guy I probably could have done it like 2.5 hours with. Like the first 5 minutes, I was just like, "Hey, is that a weed pen?" He goes, "Yeah," and like the way the weed is done, I'm like,
"Yeah,
dude." And yeah, so I was like, "Let me actually get to like a question."
Yeah, you're like, "Is this an episode of How It's Made?" I don't know what's happening,
dude. Yeah, like I can talk, and I love him. Real hell of a good guy. Funny. No, he's out there, man.
I'm so sad that his room up there is gone. The what is it called?
Was it the band, the music one?
Yeah, that one. I forgot what it's called. Man, that freaking room is so. He let me close it out. I was the last person to feature there before they shut down, and I had so much fun. And it's such a long drive, but that place has always been worth driving to.
Why did they shut it down?
I actually don't know. I think he posted why, but I didn't read it. I just saw it was gone.
Yeah.
I had told him because he said he's been working on stories and stuff for his comedy. And I told him, like, I did a story month where I just told stories on stage, and I researched like breakdowns. I found like Christopher Titus has a really good breakdown for stories. Mike Birbiglia has a really good one, and Bert Kreischer has another one. It's on that podcast, Good Ones. But they go through like how they wrote their stories, stuff that they put in that wasn't there, like how it changed. Because Bert's took like 2 years to get the machine, and once he got it down, it went viral. But before that, it was just like a 25-minute story that he couldn't figure out, and he didn't get the ending to that until like 2 years in. So, like reading like how people do things in the past is, I don't know, for me is a good way to learn how to do it better now. Like you don't have to go through 2 years of experience before we can get the lesson, which is kind of lucky for comedy now. But I wanted to get together with him to do some writing or something, but I know he's always so busy. He does so many rooms. I don't know how he has time to do anything.
Yeah, he's like, let's play tonight. Tomorrow's a promise. I like that shit. That's a good phrase. Yeah, no, he's good people. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you, because if you talked about your podcast about cooking, you cook everything? You cook everything, anything?
Yeah. So I think originally, I forgot how it happened. I think I just told somebody like, "What do you want to eat?" And a good question, like whenever like I'm gonna go eat with my friends and stuff, we always say like, "What country are you craving?" And whatever country it is, I'm gonna hold on. Hopefully this doesn't turn it off. I'm just gonna tap this. Okay. What country are you craving? And that helps us narrow down like what we're gonna eat.
That's savage as fuck.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
It's so fun, dude. You end up trying some good food. Sometimes you try some wild shit, but I started doing that with people on the podcast because I was like, well, if you're gonna come over, like I'll make some food, because usually I do it on Sundays or Saturdays, and every Saturday like I cook myself a nice meal, as a treat for the week if I get everything done I'm supposed to. I have cats, which I'm not gonna have because my roommate's gonna take them when we move, but they always get a canned food, so like everybody eats good. So when I started having people over, I was like, what country do you want? Like, let's figure it out. And then so it got me to cook different foods. So I've done like Italian. I still got to do Armenian. I did Indian. I did do Japanese. I did Korean. Of course, I did Mexican. Nobody's asked for American, which I thought was strange because I was like, dude, I can make such a good burger.
American sucks. That's the thing. American sucks because it's like when you order American food, you're just left with fries. That's usually like the end game of ordering American.
Well, there's this really good recipe for fries in a burger. So there's these fries. It's like a spicy seasoning that almost tastes like have you had tahine? That stuff you put on fruit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's a similar spice to that, but it's a little less sweet and a little bit more like a little bit more, just a little bit more spicy. And then you double fry the fries, and then you actually sprinkle potatoes onto them, almost like you batter them, and then you
Mm,
refry them. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good like quick
okay.
recipe, but it's almost like Jack in the Box fries with better flavor, which is fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
But like that's why I was like, if you pick American, like there's also like there's different styles of burger. Like everybody, American food is so plain when it's made quick, but like if you get like a nice over easy egg, you know, like an avocado, you put a little bit of fucking spicy seasonings on that. You get a good cheese, and you get like a 90% ground beef. Or, dude, oh my gosh, if you get like a good steak burger, like there's so many fun things to do. But yeah, like most American food is so boring. Like
Yeah.
because they're like, here's a fries, fucking shitty fries with salt. Like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have so much flavor. I mean,
Yeah.
for everything we have, I mean, we have the epicenter of everything to some degree. You can go down the street, get tacos. You can go get ramen. You can get. I mean, we're just kind of a melting pot of good food, just not American.
Yeah,
You
there's
know.
not a lot of good burger places here. I have noticed there is so many freaking good Korean barbecue places, but yeah, it's hard to find a good American burger place here.
You know, the burrito was made in America.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Burrito is American.
I
We
love
were just like,
burritos.
all right, wrap up everything other cultures do and steal it. That's fucking the American way.
Somebody suggested I do a Korean barbecue burrito, and I was like, that's the greatest fucking idea I've ever heard. Why didn't I
Fucking
think of that?
yeah.
Yeah, I was
Short
like,
rib burrito.
yes. I was gonna do, I was gonna do chicken fried rice or shrimp fried rice, depending on what I'm using, and then I was gonna do a bulgogi Korean beef, which is like basically like a carne guisada style, like a thin meat, and then maybe
Keep
a
going.
little white rice on top just to like keep it even, and then a little bit of Korean spice. Not too spicy. Man.
Yes.
Their freaking spices are wild, man. I was like, man, I thought I knew spicy until I had Korean barbecue, and I was like, Jesus, guys.
Yeah, they're subtle spices. Like I feel like let me think. Like Thai food can
Yeah.
just be like that
Oh, dude.
smells
Yeah.
caution, but then
Yeah.
Korean will be like boom,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it gets you.
Sneaks up on you like a couple of shots on a cold night.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
So
well.
what's the meal that you have? You said you have a budget meal every day. What's that meal?
Oh, so I do chicken thighs, and then broccoli, zucchini, kale, and beets, like red beets.
Yeah.
And so on Sunday, it used to take me 4 hours, and I finally got it down to an hour. But every Sunday, I cook for about an hour, dice everything up, saute the veggies, and bake the chicken for like 40 minutes, and then let it all cool down, and I package it for the week. And so I eat that every day, and it costs less than $5 if my math is right.
Huh.
But it took me a while to like do that. I used to do ground beef and fish and chicken, and then eventually I started just doing only chicken. And it's really hard to eat the same foods every day at first, but after a while, you just like forget you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It just becomes a thing. I mean, my thing lately has been fried rice
Oh, dude, I
of
love
any
it.
kind. I mean, it
Yeah,
really just be like, what's the meat? Otherwise, I'm putting the same things, like doing spinach, sitting sideways, boys in the day, sitting sideways. I was like, you're going sideways on me. Yeah, yeah, but anything fried rice, like that's been my kind of combo meal that I have. So I was interested to see what your thing is, but yours is a little more intricate. I mean, I've been putting some spinach in there. I'll put some
yeah,
spinach, some minced garlic, the meat, the veggies, all that sort of shit. So it's a good like all in one. And usually I'm trying to plan out my meals a little better because what happens is I'll eat it like five, do a mic, and then I'm starving, and then
yeah.
I eat late. That's
That's
why
the
I,
hard
I
part.
need to curve that, curve the have something like I mean it's God, I feel like I'm a bum so many times where I'm just like I gotta bring a meal there so then I
Yeah,
don't eat later. It's just
yeah.
like God, I gotta prep meals like I'm fucking homeless in a backpack. Like
Well,
uh
sometimes so if you want it, I mean, you could just buy them. I used to make when I first started like losing weight, I made these like Bars. So I added
mm,
up, I added up everything that a human being needs to just survive, like protein, fats, oils, like what's the other one? It was just like peanuts. It's all this nonsense that I just mix in like a big batch and flatten it on a pan, and then bake it. And then I cut the bars, and every bar is about 500 calories. So if I want to stay at like 1,000 or 1,500 calories for a day, and then tomorrow just do 2,000, I only eat 1 or 2 bars, and then 1 bar later, and it's so filling because it's a lot of grains and like dense nutrition.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can find something like that, like a snack bar, something that just keeps your appetite at bay until you can like get control of it. Because yeah, if I stay up past 10, dude, like right today, I'm not gonna eat. All I've had today is 2 pieces of chicken, and that's why we were talking about food. I was like, let me fucking wipe up, man. I'm dripping right now.
Yeah, no, I've only had a banana today, so
Uh,
I'm feeling it too. That's it doesn't sound like MREs. That sounds like it looks like fucking
oh, is that the military
rations.
stuff? Yeah, that's what somebody told me it tastes like. So I added some coconut in there because it tasted pretty rough.
There you go. So what got you into comedy? Because I think I when I first met you, I think it was like your second time. I think at Nate Jackson's. I remember. I think you were saying like it was my first time or my second time. I think it's second time. But yeah, what got you inspired to finally touch the stage?
I don't really remember exactly what it was. I like writing. Like I do like writing. I'm so lazy about it sometimes, but like I do like it, and I do like making people laugh. And I was like, I should have put these two things together at some point in my life, and I never did. And I was already at the point where I kind of like had achieved all the goals I set for myself for the past like 2, 3 years. And I was like, well, I kind of got my health together. I kind of got myself together financially a little bit, not like completely. And I was like, but like, what else do I want besides like, and then especially too, I didn't have any friends when I moved here for the first like year, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always just kind of like doing stuff by myself. And I was like, I wonder what else I could do. And I just like was like, I'll try writing again. And I did. And then I was like, why don't I try stand up? Like, I like making people laugh. That's like my favorite thing to do. And so I just put them together one day and I was like, let's go see what happens. And it was pretty fun. I wasn't supposed to go on stage that night, so it was kind of scary. But the show ended up canceling, and so Nate was like, everybody who's signed up goes up tonight. And then he goes, and I'm not going to tell you how much time you have. I'm just going to lie to you when I want. So that was like ended up being even better because I thought I wrote like 4 minutes of material, but it was ended up, of course, it's always more than you think. So it ended up being like 6.
Huh.
So it was kind of a good way to try my first set. Not having to stress about time, which now I do like probably too much.
Yeah, no, I guess maybe we write the same or we write the at length more, but some people will say like, oh my god, like I do my jokes and I'm done. But for me, every time, every time, I'm like, I have 3 jokes. This should be 4 minutes. It's always like the light. I'm like, I got to cut this joke down. Like I have to do that every time.
Yeah.
Every time. If people on stage, I'll be like, Jesus Christ, are you getting the light? What the fucking time is it? But then I go up there, I'm like, that's it?
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know how time is relative in that weird way.
Jeremiah gave me some advice on that actually I used quite a bit. Is he said that if you have a joke, like a bit, say it like you're explaining it to someone, and then do that again like 5 more times, and you'll find by like the 5th time you don't want to use all the words that you're using because you're like, this is taking too fucking long to say for the 5th or 10th time. Sometimes I have to do it like 10 times. And you slowly like chop you at your own bit and get to the important stuff you really want to say to get the unnecessary words out of the way. Because like
he's saying do it 5 times before you go on stage.
Yeah, like by yourself, like pretend you're saying the bit to someone, and then do it like 5 to 10 times, and you'll notice that your brain naturally just starts cutting. I don't know if you send like voice messages to people. But I send a lot of voice messages, and like sometimes I have to re-record them a few times, and like I'll notice by like the 3rd or 4th time, if it takes that long, I'll be like, all right, I'm going to the store. I'll see you there. I'll call you when I get there. Done. And it's
but the first one is like, I'm going to the store, and I'm actually going to buy the store. You're just like, shut up.
Yeah. I'm so thirsty. It's just crazy day to day. Yeah, like it's just all this bullshit that I don't need to say.
Okay, so that's good actually. That's a good one. I'll even write it down on my little taking notes notepad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know this is supposed to be an interview, so yeah. What other questions you got? I want to make sure I don't leave you with any questions. I don't leave any mysteries.
Oh shoot. Actually, one I lingered on. I kind of thought about like when I was going to interview you. I honestly, I I did write down a few questions, but this interview hasn't sucked, so I don't really need to answer them. But I mean, just going,
Yeah.
going if the things ever get off flow and we're sitting there, and be like,
Word.
then I'd be like, okay, let me guide it. But one thing I was going to ask. Oh yeah. No, you know what? So I asked Noah this question, so I figured I'd ask you too. Since you are into food, do you know Noah's really into food in a weird way?
No, I haven't gotten to talk to him enough. Like every time I've gone to see him, like it's at a show, and I can't stay very late up there, so we don't ever get to
Yeah.
talk. But I do know that he likes stand up. That's all I know.
So when I was, I mean, honestly, 40 minutes of my podcast episode, you just listen to everybody. But when I first met him, somebody asked him how he would take a girl on a date, and he goes off on like phytoestrogens and all these things to make their pH balance, their vagina pH balance at optimum levels. And
Yeah,
like it was just, I was like, dude, I'll be real, man. Like that'd be the creepiest fucking thing. It would not work. Like I just had to let him know that. But I mean, it was just
it's
so
all
funny.
about your pH balances. God damn it, get your dick in order. Like
Yeah,
make her
exactly,
bring you all this
exactly.
food to get her pH on. Where's yours at?
Chug some pineapple juice, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
pineapple all night. Shit.
But so I asked him what he would cook a female, and it was he spouted off a lot of stuff. So I want to ask you, if you were
Yeah.
to take a girl out or bring her back to your place, what would you cook a female? Is there a meal to impress somebody? Do you have something like that would
I don't know. I think it would depend on the person because like if I meet someone and I'm like, what do you like? Because it is fun to talk about what you eat, but if they're like, I don't like if they say I don't like sushi, I'm like, all right, you're probably like a chicken strip person, like
chicken
chicken
tender
strips and
fries?
fries. So like if I have one of those, I'm getting popcorn shrimp from Winco. I'm gonna put it in the air fryer. I'm gonna
Mhm.
flip it. I'm gonna buy some sweet and sour sauce. I'm gonna season it very lightly with a little bit of pepper and then probably make some egg drop soup out of a packet because like I'm not gonna try hard for a chicken strip person, but I'm also not gonna like do nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I might make some fried rice too, depending on how picky the person is, because it does have vegetables, and some people can be picky. But if it's somebody like I want to impress, I would probably do like a carbonara, like a beef and bacon carbonara, and then
Ooh,
either that one or like a garlic butter chicken with like naan and what's that sauce? What's
that
that
would
sauce?
impress me. Fuck, dude. Oh my god,
Well,
dude.
dude, if
Yeah,
you want to
yeah,
be on, man, you can come and eat. You can come to my
dude.
place.
I'm
Uh,
in. I'm in for sure.
what is that?
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
tikka masala. Tikka masala sauce on the side with some naan and garlic butter chicken. That's what I'd cook for like in 2 impressions, I think. Because those can look fancy. You just got to throw some cilantro on that plate. That shit'll look nice.
Yep. Little garnish. Yeah, make it a
Yeah.
little. Do a little
Garnish it
zigzag
with the
on the sauce,
fucking chicken
dude.
strip, little cilantro on the side. It's fucking beautiful.
Have you ever gone out with somebody who like had a bunch of restrictions? I was like, she's like, yeah, I'm vegan.
Yeah. There's
Vegan, gluten free.
some for health reasons, which I understand. Like if it really does mess up your body, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're a fucking nerd. But uh,
Yeah.
I have dated picky years where I'm like, I'm gonna save money. Fucking dollar burgers and nuggets, like that's not gonna cost a lot. So I don't think it bothers me that much. And I eat a lot. I treat myself to a nice meal at least once a week if I'm good and I eat the foods I'm supposed to like during the week. So I don't really care what anybody else eats. Like if I'm dating somebody and they just eat like McDonald's, I'm like, that's cool, man. I'm not gonna eat that every day, but like that's what makes you happy. As long as you're like not, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever dated somebody that was that picky. And if I did, I
Yeah.
probably didn't notice enough to care.
Yeah. No,
I
me
don't think
neither. Yeah, me neither. Which I'm very thankful for.
I
But
know. So wait, what's your do you cook at all or not really?
I'm 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 doing cooking. I am in
Okay.
fact cooking things. I'd say I can like cook any meat, but like when to do the seasoning and when to put this is the thing I'm still learning there.
It's so if you're cooking chicken, season all the sides before you put
Yeah.
it in because it's gonna soak in. That's usually the
Mhm.
rule. But if you're making like a steak and you want it to be nice and juicy and like not become dry, the best thing to do is to cook it for a minute on each side. Dice it up. You can put pepper, garlic, parsley, whatever you want before, but don't put salt until you're ready for the steak to be eaten, because salt dries out steak. That's the only thing that like you really got to pay attention to, honestly.
No shit. So you're
Yeah.
saying like all these people are like full of shit because I always see them. They salt it, they pepper it, and then rub it in, or put it on. So you don't do any of that until.
No, and then I mean you can, if you're doing a rub, it's different because that's like you're really trying to get the flavor to soak in there, and it depends on how you cook it. But like, I mean, I honestly, so like I get the garlic butter from Winco, and then I'll just put pepper, garlic, whatever other seasonings I feel like eating that day. Do the steak for 1 minute on each side, dice it up, throw it back in, put some garlic butter, let it sear into the meat, and then probably add a little bit more pepper just to get it on the inside a little bit, and then dump it on a plate and then salt it like get it on a flat layer and then salt it all, and then that's pretty much it. And if I want to, melt a little butter or use so the sauce left after I'm done with the steak. If I'm making like mashed potatoes or something, I'll throw it in.
Spoon it in. Spoon it in. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the best too. If you pour that juice on a steak in front of someone, dude, that shit's fucking sexy.
Yeah, they get moist.
Oh yeah, right? At least if one of us is, all right. If it's not you, it's me.
There you go. No, that's what's up. Yeah, no, I'm trying to get better at the cooking part, but the air fryer has been saving me. The air fryer
is good. If you can cook a lot of good stuff in there. What's do you have a dream meal that you'd love to cook that you saw somebody make and you're like, if I can make it like that and make it that good, that's the goal?
I have one answer right away, and it's something that if Washington fucking had a truck based on this, it would sweep out all this birria bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, before I even say my answer, birria is the most overrated fucking thing out there. It is. Yeah. It's very plain spice. You need something to dip it in. That's already like a cardinal sin of like whackness.
Yeah.
So yeah, way overrated. $4 a taco. And it's like meat and cheese. You're like, oh, cool, great. You know, you kind of buy it from the trend.
So special.
So the answer is empanadas. We do not have any empanadas, and when I go to New York, that is pizza and empanadas are two things I seek out because there is lacking here in Washington.
It's hard to find any good Mexican food here. Like, it's not anybody's fault, but like, I think I know a place that might have some good empanadas, but I'm gonna go eat them first, and if they're good, I'll send you the address for it.
But what's weird is like, you know, I mean, I think that's more like a Cuban. I think it's more like a Cuban thing is empanadas, because Mexican places will usually just kind of have like a torta or like a, you know, something of that nature. But dude,
the place that I go to is, I think it's a mix, because they have some Mexican food that's made Colombian style, and then they have some Colombian food that's like kind of Mexican style. I think they just like mixed and matched, because it says Colombian, I think, on the front, but then some of the stuff says like Mexican plate, and I'm like, huh. It's pretty good. I mean, some of the stuff I've had. I haven't had the empanada though, so I don't want to say it's good yet. Like, I would send it to you if I'd had it and remembered it, but I would need to send you to a place to eat, and you're like, that piece of shit. I spent $7.
That guy's whiter than me, motherfucker. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like in New York, there's a lot of places that are like the forefront is the empanada, and then like tacos, burritos, we got that too. But our empanadas, like they kind of put on the forefront, which I think is, you know, a shame that there's not a place that's just like, how about we put this in a calzone?
Dude, I know.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, it is hard. Like, because I'm from Texas, so like the barbecue I miss, the Mexican food I miss. There's a lot of things you can get in where I'm from in San Antonio that, like, here, like, I try to tell people, like, y'all don't have breakfast tacos the way that I grew up, and they're like, we do, and I'm like, Jesus, first of all, relax. Like, I'm not insulting the state. I'm just saying, like, it's a different type of flavor. Like how you said with you said the video tacos, right?
Yeah.
I was like trying to figure out what it was, but I remembered when you said the spices and the cheese and stuff. Like there's tacos like that have better seasonings and better flavor and actual like sauce and stuff already mixed in, which I can make you if you want some, by the way. That I'm used to getting back home. Yeah, like and up here, like, there's just stuff that just doesn't exist. Like, they've just never made it. Like, I've had foods that I've eaten that I ask people if they've had, and they're like, I've never had that. What is it? And I explain it, and then they're like, that sounds weird. And I'm like, yeah, because I mean, you've never seen it or tasted or heard of it. But there's
Yeah.
foods here that I've tried that I've never had back home. So it's like, I get it. It's a trade, but
What's one you get the most of? Like, what's one that people say here? They're like, "What are you talking about?"
so like carne guisada is one of them.
Carne
Barbacoa.
guisada.
Yeah, carne guisada. So it's basically, so you had like carne, or how do I say it? Carne asada. Have you had that?
Steak. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that it's basically that, but it's smothered in gravy. So it's like mixed in with this type of gravy, which I made some of that gravy flavor by itself just to see if what I could do with it, and I
Brown
found,
gravy, right?
yeah, brown gravy. I found a better way to make it. I think that's like better to like mix in with burritos and tacos. But you can make it all together, and it's like a kind of guisada, which is basically gravy and meat. But
Gravy with a taco. Is
yeah,
that what
but
the move
there
is?
is a specific flavor that goes with it, and I do have the seasoning, so I don't have to make it myself anymore. That I can give you some and or make you, so whichever. But
Dude, oh my god,
yeah,
that sounds bomb as fuck.
yeah, dude. And people here have never had it, so I made it for people at work, and they were like, "This is fucking good." I'm like, "I know that." Like I got the recipe from back home, so obviously like I didn't come up with it, but
Yeah.
that that's one thing. And then barbacoa, they have it at Chipotle, but it's not. I mean, it's not the original like flavor, but it's still good
Mhm.
for Chipotle. But there's like barbacoa tacos back home. You like go and you get a pound, and you can get fat or no fat or lean or whatever you want, and they just
Mhm.
give you like this huge like pound of it, and then you get soft shell tortillas like corn, and you just put it in there, and you put a little bit of salt, and you just roll it up into a little taquito. And like they don't have that here either. And I'm used to like in the mornings I would wake up and that would be breakfast, and like it's so good. God,
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah. No, we're definitely getting there. Yeah, I think yeah, we're talking ourselves into a little food frenzy here. But dude, no, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man, and I'd love to come on your podcast, dine and try some of your
Yeah.
lovely delicatessens.
Well, I'll be moving to a new place in I think within the next month probably. So when I get my new place set up and I get everything going and I like have everything settled in, dude, I'll send you an invite. And like I said, dude, pick a country. If you drink, because I tell people if you do drink, you pick a
Yeah.
liquor. I'll make you 3 drinks from that liquor too, so you can have like your choices. Um, of
Oh,
course, though,
okay.
you can get a taste first because somebody's like, I don't know if I could drink 3 whole. I was like, no, I'll make you like mini drinks. You can tell me which one you like the most, and that's the one I'll make for you.
I love it, dude. No, that sounds savage as fuck. What do you have going on that you'd like to get out in the ether or anything? Like, I mean, plug your podcast, plug some dates, plug some life advice.
Yeah, I guess I do have a show this Saturday, and I don't have the details. So if you do want to see them when I get them, and I'm going to post them, just Crispin Comedy at Instagram and Facebook. Pretty much everywhere, it's just Crispin Comedy. And
Okay.
then I also,
You retired Chris Mass. You
yeah, man,
retired the Chris Mass name.
I kept the stage name for a little bit because I was like, if I suck at this or I say something really bad or like I do something I regret, I can be like, I don't know that guy. My name's Crispin.
Yeah. I'm glad you did though, honestly. It didn't, to me it didn't make sense, but obviously, method to the madness, and I'm glad you're yourself because you have a unique enough name. I was like, you're already good. Like there's nobody else. Crispin
Yeah.
Melkor is like, yeah, you're already good. But yeah, no, you were saying extra
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
just that. And then I guess I haven't really done much with the pod. I took a little bit of a break to try to figure out some stuff with it, but it's Two Minds. It's on Spotify. I got to get it on iTunes eventually. Audio only, so no video if you are looking for it. But it's fun, man. The first season was all about, like you said, the first impressions. Like I wanted to know what people's first impressions were of me and like what mine was of them, and then how we've like grown in our friendship now that we know each other, and how
Yeah.
that differs from what we thought. And then the season 2 is called the W's, so we just go through who, what, when, where, why, and it's just 5 different questions, and we just kind of explore like where those go, and then just bullshitting in between after eating a bunch of food and drinking, which is pretty fun.
Yeah. No, that was good there. What was do you know your first impression of me?
Yeah, I remember you were very serious and like stoic. I don't know if I don't remember if you told me you hadn't been on stage in a while, so you were like trying to get in the zone. You didn't really talk too much, but you didn't seem rude or like mean or anything. But the first time we met, we didn't really get to talk. And like, I was like, oh, he seems interesting and you seem focused on comedy, which is like what we're all supposed to be here to do. And you seem very like precise. You were like, I'm going to get up there. I'm going to do these fucking jokes. I'm going to think about them. And then I got to go. Like, you were just like the quick in and out comic the first time we met. And now I've gotten to actually chill with you like at a few shows, and we bullshit a little bit. And it is hard to talk to people when you're like doing a show or an open mic. You know, it's kind of hard to get to know people that you want to know more, which is like why the podcast is so much more fun and like better for me, I think.
Yeah, you know, it's rough too because sometimes I've been in the very I've been too relaxed where I'm trying to talk to people and they're like me where they're like, hey, I am in for the grind, get in and get out, and
Yeah,
then I'm serious when someone's relaxed and I'm like, I can be outside of myself and go, I know I'm going to come off like a douche because I am just like
yeah,
I'm trying these bits and I am actually so much making sure I'm not liking my jokes, these new
yeah.
ones that I am like grind set.
I don't think to me at least, I don't think you came across douchey at all. I was just like, well, I mean,
Yeah,
you're here to do something. Like this is your dream or like your goal. Like you should take
right.
it serious. And sometimes like it's hard to not take something that you love like comedy and make it into like a job when it's supposed to be fun, which is why I think most of us do like started doing this in the first place. But it is hard to remember that like this is supposed to be fun, but sometimes you
Hmm.
do have to be serious. Like if you want this to be a dream and a goal you actually achieve. So like I didn't think you were douchey at all. I was just like, well, sometimes
That's
that's what
good.
you need. You need focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
that
No,
time. The next time we met though, I was like, God, no. No.
let's go. Yeah. No, and it's so weird. Find that medium between like it's like you take it serious, like in the writing process for sure. You're sitting there like you're not just sitting there laughing, goofing, typing stuff up. You are
Yeah.
sitting there being like, But so what I've kind of learned over time, it's like, hopefully you know your stuff enough where you can be chill. And I think for me is when I am really serious, sometimes I'm kind of going, I don't know if and tell me if you relate to this or maybe not, but like sometimes when you're doing new stuff and you're not exactly sure if you have it down, you're kind of sitting there being like you're not as you're sitting there being like, I need to bring it all. Where really when my stuff that I know the most, I'm usually kind of like, I got this. Like
Yeah.
I'm the fighter that I know this guy's gonna go down the left. So I'm pretty chill. But when I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know how this fight's gonna go, I'm like, I'm pretty I don't know if you ever feel that.
I think that, man, I think sometimes like so I don't know like what's going on in your head when you're thinking. I know you're saying it's like that fear of the unknown kind of thing,
Hmm.
which I think is like a very natural feeling. Like the thing is like it's hard when you have a bit and you're like there's something here and I want to bring it to stage, but I think sometimes when you're doubting that it's because there's more that you haven't figured out. But
Yeah.
either one like you didn't spend enough time. This is for me more. Either one,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
didn't spend enough time sitting and thinking about what this concept is and where the joke is, and to justify doing it on stage. But also, there's some bits that you can only work out on stage, and you never know which ones those are. And that's fucking the hard part. It's like you could have a great bit and you sit down and write it and it sucks. And then you go up with the same premise and you just let yourself play a little bit and it becomes one of your best bits. And that's like you said, like that's the unpredictability that like sometimes you're sitting there like, why can't this be easier? But it's like that you don't get to choose what's easy or even what's funny half the time.
Yeah.
But you really do sometimes got to sit there and just remember that like this is trial and error, and no matter what happens I'm going to learn something from this, so let's just try to have fun. And I have to remind myself of that every single time I go on stage. So like not telling you that you were doing anything wrong because it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
different, but like sometimes it is hard to not sit there and especially too when you realize a bit's not funny as you're about to do it, but you haven't done it on stage yet, so you actually don't even know that you're just doubting it for no reason or for whatever reason you found. I think that's
Yeah.
sometimes the hard part is like when you're like, is this even fucking funny? Why am I going to do this to myself? And then you have
Yeah.
to do it anyways because it might end
Right.
up being hilarious and you don't even know.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah,
even and listening to like Mark Norman just recently here, he was like, the hardest part is open mics because it's just pure hell. You don't really know what you're doing, and a lot of the time you're just sitting there, like you were saying. Sometimes there's a part of the joke where you're like, that's I'm just segueing into my next bullet point, and that's the funny part. You're going, fuck me, I don't even know this language yet. Like
yeah,
you realize you're like, God, that's the funny part, and the thing I thought was hilarious isn't.
yeah. That's the thing is that's
It's a
it's so weird
language.
because like I don't know, like growing up I always kind of thought like don't let other people like be actionary, don't be reactionary. So like if something's happening and you react, it's because there's something you haven't figured out, and you don't want to be reactionary. You don't want to be the person who only exist based on what's happening around you. Like you want to be your own person too, you know, and I think a lot of people now are reactionary where it's like if something happens, they react and then that's who they are for that moment rather than like something happens, they internalize like who they are. And then if they want to react, cool. If they don't, then don't, because it's not worth it half the time. But when it comes to like being like a comic, you have to be reactionary because you need the crowd to know what's funny. Like if you met somebody who's like, I'm funny, it's like, well, you can say that, but like you're not the one who really determines that. And I know there's people that are like, I make myself laugh. Like, cool, but like, is that the funnest part of your day? Because mine
Yeah.
is making other people laugh as well as myself. But like with stage stuff, like you truly is like you said, you have to be reactionary because like the stuff that you think is funny, sometimes they're like, no, and then you say something else, and they're like, yeah, that's the good one, and you're like,
Yeah,
what?
that part.
Yeah,
I'm writing that right now because I like that a lot. Actionary versus reactionary. Because like you're saying, like it's like the correct answer in real life. Wait, reactionary. Like the correct answer in real life is to be actionary because you're like, well, fuck other people. I don't
yeah,
care about their opinion. But then when you're on stage, you are, yeah, you want to be reactionary, being like, oh, okay, So maybe that's why people like have like who are in comedy have so much mental illness because they're like, I'm supposed to fucking do the opposite. I need to
yeah,
please you guys now, but when
yeah.
I'm off stage, I'm supposed to not fucking care about you.
Well, that's one of the things that I like about the newer like the comics now, like Tom Segura, like all the big names, like Christina Pazinski. They all have this thing where they all started like how we are. We're open micers, you know. We want like of course like I want the crowd to like me. I want them to laugh. I want them to have fun. But at the same time, like I want to have fun and I want to laugh. I don't want to just be the guy who goes up there and says a joke because I know it's getting a laugh. I want to go up there and say the thing that would make me laugh and also make them laugh because
Mm-hmm.
like that, like you said, like I don't want to be reactionary or actionary. Like I want to be a little bit of both on stage. And like all the comics now, like you said, like it seems like every comic has like a mental illness. But the older comics now that I'm seeing, like they're starting to slowly get into like it's okay to not be fucked up to be funny. And
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because a lot of comics I've heard say that they didn't want to get therapy because they were worried it was going to ruin their comedy, which is so crazy. Like being healthier in your brain and happier with yourself somehow takes away from who you are. Like, no, it embraces who you are in a different way. And it doesn't mean you're not going to still hate yourself every now and then and hate other things. And you'll find the jokes in that, but you'll also find things about yourself that you can just enjoy outside of people loving you on stage, you know? And it is crazy because like I honestly expected there to be a lot more fuck ups in comedy when I joined. I thought it was going to be like when I used to be a chef, like there wasn't the most sane people, you know, working 12, 15-hour days, juggling fire and shit. Because
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
be a hibachi chef, so like I used to do all that stuff, and it was wild, and I expected more of that wildness in comedy, and I'm kind of glad that there's a lot more. Like people were serious. The people that I talked to, like even you, like we take this seriously because we want it to be a dream for us. And I thought there was going to be more people that were just like here for the party. And I'm kind of glad it's not because I do love to party. So like I probably would have joined in, but everybody I've met has wanted this to be their goal. And like we all take it as like a job almost, which is probably a good bad, you know, because you should think of it as fun, like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of there's definitely still a lot of mental illness though. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, and you know what's like therapy actually helps. Like I don't know if you've
Oh
done
yeah,
therapy since doing comedy, but like they actually kind of, you really need somebody to call you out on your bullshit.
yeah,
That's the best thing of therapy is like besides anything, honestly, therapy does not even like do much for most people unless they really like, are truthful. Like not
yeah,
many people are that truthful. That's what like my uncle who was a psychologist for 25 years. He said like, yeah, I mean, actually, I went to school hoping to be a psychologist, like therapy, help people out because I do like talking,
yeah.
i.e. this. And
You'd be a good therapist. You got a good voice for it.
oh, so how do you feel, Crispin? Yes. What does this blob
Good.
tell you?
Hungry as fuck.
You should quit. Yes. No. But he said most of the time, like people were lying. He talked about like all these, like 75% of people in marriage counseling would lie and waste their time, and it's just like it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary to think about that you would pay money just to appease somebody who does not matter in your life at all, just so your ego can be run amok and stay fresh.
Yeah, it's what they say, man. It's facing your truth is the hardest thing, but being truthful with yourself is like even harder. Like I don't know. I don't really get like I've never done therapy. I recommend it to everyone, and I know I'm gonna probably need to take it eventually, but I don't know. It's weird. It is scary how people could lie to themselves and be like, well, I'm just gonna say these things that aren't true, and try to hope that this if I keep doing the same thing, I'm gonna get the better result. And what isn't that like the definition for insanity for somebody? They said it was like the same actions repeated over and over, expecting different results. Like you got to change. That's the problem, man. It's so hard to change. Like I understand like why you would lie in therapy, but it's also like you don't really want to change though, and that's okay if you don't want to. But then you can't really complain about what you got. But
Yeah.
changing's fucking hard. So I don't know, man. I can't really judge anybody else on that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you got a good head on yourself, man. I'm happy that, I mean, it was interesting. Even the first part of the conversation, I was like, oh, dude, we already got something to talk about, just for the fact you said, like, the accomplishments for the sake of accomplishing them. That was a really good, that was something I actually wrote down. The first thing I wrote down with you, because I kind of relate to that. I kind of relate to the fact that, like, I was in radio before comedy.
Yeah.
And although I liked it, I kind of wasn't in it for me. I was kind of in it to be like, look, I don't want to be in the 9 to 5 grind.
Yeah.
Like more than, I mean, obviously I do love talking, and this is my passion. I'll be doing this shit for the rest of my life. Like I'm pretty convinced, unless a bad meth addiction takes me overboard or some shit happens.
Even
I'm
then, you
pretty
probably
sure.
talk more if you did meth.
Yeah, exactly. Start 5 businesses that never
Yeah.
fruition anything. But yeah, there's just some things I think about that. I go, I could have waited on that. I could have just, worked and gained life experience, but I just wanted to be in it and thinking I want to be in radio. I want to be a radio guy at 22,
Yeah.
which just never obviously fruition due to job market and shit like that. But yeah,
What
that
do you want to do
resonated.
radio just to do a talk show, or did you just like media in general?
Media in general. Well, I like the entertainment aspect of it. And around my friends, I had a lot to talk about. And then it's just like with stand up where you're like,
Yeah.
here's your throne. You go, oh,
Yeah. Right
okay.
now? You want to talk right now?
Yeah, oh, can I get my friends in here and we can get
Yeah.
high and drunk and then I'll be in my place? Like
Yeah.
it's an art. It's an art just to, start something off of nothing. And that's kind of what radio is. And you learn the best thing a radio teaches you is how to start something. Is that like, cause I think even still with stand up coming from radio, like I still have a weird time. Like, hi guys,
Yeah.
let's go. I still kind of do that, which is like another fucked up, probably my most beginner trait about me is like like my beginnings are always just like,
No,
okay, let's go, I guess.
it happens. No, there's a comic I heard. I can't remember who it was, but they go, if you're thinking of it, because you want it to be conversational, like you wouldn't just walk up to someone and go, so the other day I was shopping, and it's like, no, you would be like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, like
Mhm.
kind of have an opening and then go into your bits, but like you can't just go up there and start yelling at the crowd. But some comics do, and it does work. So you never know what the right path is, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. When there's enough people on the lineup, you're like,
Let's get
look,
this
here's
done.
my dog got eaten and here's why. Let's just go
Yeah,
into it.
I
35
was
people on the
hungry.
mic. Who cares? Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I thought that was cool, man. And no, dude, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, dude. I know we were supposed to wrap up like 15 minutes ago. My
No,
bad.
no, it's perfect. No. I meant to do that. Or I mean,
Yeah.
I'll stir up anything possible. Oh, you said my first impression. I gotta say my first impression of you. I said it in the beginning, anyways. But yeah, no, you know what, dude? I remember you at Nate Jackson's, and you were smiling, and maybe at the time I was not doing good because I was like, this smiley motherfucker,
Yeah.
he's like, I was like, he's not gonna be in comedy long. He looks too happy.
Yeah.
I really think I thought that. I was like, this guy, he's just too smiley,
Yeah.
That's one of those people who just kind of do it jokingly, but then do it. And then he kept popping around, and not like I ever resented you, but it was just a thing of being like, like, like because I came from that same school of being like, comedians are messed up.
Yeah.
And you seem like you're just happy. I'm like, I mean, think about the people who are constantly smiling on stage. It's just like pretty non-existent. People
Yeah.
who are saying, "Hey guys, what's up?" Like you were just smiling, chilling. I mean, I already had like really good, and you already have good presence. That's something I think in your stat bar, you always have a really good is a good presence. Where you're smiling. You're like, even if you're reading off of like a little paper like this, which I've seen before, where you're just like, hey guys, trying stuff out, messing around. You still like have a good presence, right? Well, hey guys, let's go with the next one, guys. This one's, you know, like no matter what's happening. Yeah, dude, and you're really you're legit like that, and you're a solid motherfucker, man. I'm glad that I got to interview you.
Yeah, man, this was fun. Thank you for having me, dude. This was a lot of fun. I was a little nervous. I'm always nervous about doing pods and stuff, but they're a lot of fun, man. I hope you keep doing them, especially if this is your passion and shit. Like, I'll always support you with whatever you choose to do, and whoever you choose to do. But I hope you keep doing it. This was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got
whoever I choose to do. Well, I appreciate that support. Yes.
Well, all the reaction models that you choose to hook up with, I'll be like, get it, man. Make a reaction video with her. It's gonna be great.
Point me out for that contradiction if that ever does happen.
Oh no, dude, I'm not. I'm gonna be like, dude, you should marry her. This is gonna be great. And then you're gonna be in the background of her reaction videos with her ring. Like, can you believe this ring? And then you're gonna be there like, yeah,
just be sitting there like, oh, I get into it just to impress her even more.
But it's always gonna start with you going like, no, not right now. Oh hey,
like, oh hey guys, hey, let's.
Are you already live?
Oh God, kill me. No, dude, that's what I never want to do. I never want to be you know those couples that do like the YouTube prank videos?
Yes.
That's reaction influencer.
Yeah.
Prank
marriages.
Prank YouTuber. That's top tier garbage.
Oh, you know what? The worst tier, the other one.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this fact about CDs. You know, CDs are just crazy, and they're always laughing in and out of the fucking camera.
And they're always talking about
show me a CD if you're gonna tell me, man. Come on.
They're always talking about here's something you never knew. Did you know in 1930?
And you might think this, but you'd be wrong. And let me tell you why. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I would never let somebody talk to me like that in person. I'm not gonna let it happen over my phone.
And that's who you marry too. Like 3 reasons why you should never cheat on me. Here's a fun fact.
Number 1, I cook. Check out this video of me watching this recipe. God
exactly. Damn. Oh, recipe. Ranch dressing? Oh. Yeah. But anyways. Enough tangents.
Yeah.
I think we got everything covered.
We'll save some of this for when you're coming over to my place and I'm cooking for you.
Exactly. Any last words, man? A wise quote? Anything that you want to leave off on? I feel like you have a good quote. I feel like you have a good quote in you.
I think I have one. I heard this when I was real young, and I always remembered it. But it said, "Those who pursue liberty become a captive of their desires, and those that pursue discipline find their true freedom." And I always thought that was nice.
Say it one more time.
So those who pursue liberty become a captive of their desires, and those that pursue those that pursue discipline find their true freedom. I always thought that was nice, like, because you know, you find all these things that you're like, this will make me happy. I just need to get this, and it's like you're chasing like your desires, and you're not gonna ever be happy. But if you're disciplined, you might achieve something that makes you happy, at least for a moment. You know, I always like that quote because it's what does make me like work hard towards things I say I care about, which is when like I realize I'm not doing something enough. I'm like, I don't love this enough. I'm not disciplined. I need to show that I care by being disciplined with it. So it is. I think I like that one.
And that brings the podcast full circle from what we first talked about. That is the way to end the podcast. That is perfect, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Later, Peter.
That's how we end it. You stay sexy, and I will see you soon, man. Thanks for coming on. Talk to you soon.
Later, man.
Boop.